think it's tough enough to win one. We've done two, so you might as well go for three, right?
Our time, baby, back to back. That's how we do it.
What do you think of this team?
Unbelievable. Nobody can beat us. Back to back years.
It's so much fun to be a part of. The crowd can have an effect on teams. The emotions get turned up.
And then last year, they gave Vezina to somebody else. Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We the Thunder. As you can see, there's no shooter. It's just me, the stash, with me, Thomas Schooley tonight. Shooter's out there doing his thing on the ice, while our boys skated home to a great 5-3 victory, bounce back game. Pretty much dominated until the last 7 minutes or so with some typical Toronto stuff there with the power play and the shorty there. But overall, a great game, great statement for the Bolts to come back and get that win in game two. And a lot of good things to get into. Off the top, what do you got, Schoolie, out of that game?
I think tonight showed the veteran presence on this team. Corey Perry, Hedman, Kucherov, Point. You had the first goal by Hagel in the playoffs. But I think this really showed the veteran leadership, and we talked about that in the last one after the loss. Like, are they tired? Are they getting aged? Would they bounce back in game two because they've been this before? We've heard the last 24 hours from Coop that they know what to do to win. He wasn't worried after game one, and we threw the stats out there last game. And we still have not lost a game after losing. So Vasi's still perfect record. Vasi's got that perfect record still. Good job to him. He did look like the Vasi of old at the beginning of the game. A couple of shots I think he would have liked to have back. But all in all, I actually thought it was a pretty good game for us.
Yeah. I would say the first 10 minutes was strange. It's almost how I thought the first 10 minutes of game one was going to go, but then that major happened and then they didn't score, and so it kind of turned the ice into Toronto's favor, and the Lightning never recovered. Even Engblom said it on the broadcast tonight. There's speed plus physicality, and then there's just physicality. We talked about on the show, they were over physical in that first game, and it made them slow, it made them predictable. And in this game, we said that they could play this way, and they came out and did it. I mean, that's one of the key things I said going into this game is they had to not play so physical. They had to play speed, then get physical when they got in the zone. And that's exactly what they did tonight. And they were down in shots. I think it was 6-1 or 8, maybe even 8-1 at the 10-minute mark of the first period. And then after that, they turned it on. They scored that goal late at the very end, 2 seconds left at the first period. And they dominated that second period for sure. They came out and just dominated in that second period and built up to a great lead there.
And kudos to the rest for basically swallowing the whistles, except for when it was hard play in the first 2 periods. You only saw it when things got physical, where they really call in stuff. Other than that, there was some penalties that could have been called on both sides that they were doing ticky-tack, which I thought in the first game they were. And this game, I think they swallowed the whistles a little bit and was only calling them when there was some fights, when there was skirmishes. They wanted to separate the teams and get one off.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of the message that they sent, were specifically almost to Maroon and to Simmons. Maroon was kind of getting mugged. He retaliated, and then he got that penalty called on him for roughing, which, I think that's just a carryover from the last game and some of the rough stuff that he instigated. And then Simmons didn't get away with shit in this game. He did not get away with anything, and that was amazing. I was really impressed with the referees. I was really impressed. Like you said, they weren't calling some of the ticky-tacky stuff, but they also, were calling the stuff that was the violent stuff, the goon stuff, the stuff that didn't belong, And I think it was definitely a big deal. And we already saw in the comments already talking about, people are going to be Pat Roon banged her mom, prepare for whiny Leafs fan crying about the refs. I mean, it was already in the game. You heard it, right? I don't know how many refs you suck chant we heard tonight, but I mean, every time one of their guys went down, it was oh, boo, boo. But
I just went on their Twitter, and I was actually reading some of their comments, and they're not blaming the refs. They're actually blaming Matthews.
Oh, wow, shocking.
And Tavares.
Well, burying their guys already. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I have more respect if they blame the refs than if they start burying their guys again. But again, they're Leafs fans, and you can't blame them. You can't blame them. You go and you win 5-0 against the defending champs, back-to-back champs in your house. You come out and you make a statement, and then you basically go and lay an egg for the first 40, 50 minutes of that game, really. And, I guess they're ready for that inevitable loss now. But it was funny because after game one, everyone was like, oh, that's it. See, they got it. This is their series now. The Lightning are this, the Lightning are that, whatever the thing it was, or the Toronto is this, Toronto is that. And that's really more than what we're hearing, right? It wasn't even necessarily that Lightning weren't this. It was more that Toronto is that. And they're, so it's good to see Lightning come back and respond and basically show, we still got some of the best guys on the world on this roster and some of the most veteran guys in the NHL on that roster. And I think you're absolutely right, man. Corey Perry had a great game. Even Belmar and Maroon overall, I think those three guys had a much better game. Everyone was, calling for their heads after game one, but they definitely came back and made something out of it. So, but we got a lot to unpack. We got a lot to do. Supposedly we're supposed to have some mystery guest showing up to sit in for Shooter for a little while. I hope, he's supposed to set it all up. I'm waiting to see someone show up in the green room, waiting to come in. That being said, we do have a pair of tickets to Friday night's game 3, first home game, coming back 1-1, tied at 1 apiece, courtesy of Six of Fire. And we're going to give those away tonight on the show.
There are stipulations, though.
There are stipulations, and let me run those down, and I'm going to run them down a couple more times, but we're going to give this away via the hashtag of the night. However, please do not use the hashtag if you cannot go to this game and actually win these tickets, and you have to be at Yeoman's by 6 o'clock to have the tickets transferred to you and do the march to the stadium and do the chant. So that's what's going on. We've got a pair of tickets courtesy of Sticks of Fire, but you got to be able to be at Yeoman's at 6 o'clock to get them. And you got to be there to make the march to the stadium and do the chants and all that. And you'll be sitting in the section with Sticks of Fire. So that'll be an awesome experience as well. So, one of the things is they're talking about is there's going to be a lot of Toronto fans. So we got to be loud. So the hashtag tonight is just straight up hashtag We the Thunder. But again, if you cannot use these tickets, if you cannot guarantee on Friday on Tampa to be downtown by 6 o'clock, please do not use that hashtag. Okay. So there we go. Hashtag We the Thunder. From now on, all your comments, if you are able to be down here in downtown Tampa by 6 o'clock on Friday for the game. That being said, we will all three be there. All three of us will be there. We will all be in attendance for the game. We will be there. Shooter and I for sure will be also there marching to the game with everybody. And it's going to be pretty lit. It's going to be pretty lit. It's going to be a long weekend for yours truly because you got the show tonight. Tomorrow's an off day, but then Friday night I got the game. We'll be doing our post show live from District Tavern. on Friday. Our post-game show will be live from District Tavern after the game. And then Saturday, we have the bar crawl, also at District Tavern with downtown crawlers, turn downtown blue. And then Sunday, most likely, we'll be at the game again and then doing post-game show from District Tavern as well. So a lot of hockey, a lot of stuff going on this weekend. But, yeah, get your hashtag We the Thunder in there. Once again, you got to be down there at 6 o'clock at Yeoman's to have the tickets transferred to you. 6:15 we march. Then there's a big picture, going to be like a video or a picture right there in the plaza. So you'll be part of all that. So
unfortunately,
yeah.
I have my own superstitions, so
yeah,
I will not be joining.
He hides from people.
No, I like to be at the ice. Me, Serena have a tradition where we go down to the ice for warm-ups. We actually have a certain entrance we go in every single game. It's a whole, superstition thing. So that's why I have marched with them before. I just, during the playoffs, especially, I can't because I have to get down there. 4-minute mark, we do this little thing with Palat where we do the circle with our hands on the ice, and he comes and tries to shoot the puck right into the circle. So it's just something we've been doing for the last 6 years. So we're not
miss that next year.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely, that thing with Palat, you definitely got to get that in now while you can, right?
So your rituals have our priorities.
No, absolutely. Cheers, you and Serena. So, but yeah, I have a lot of rituals and superstitions, and they matter absolutely. So that's what people were talking about, taking down the Andrew Tuck statue. I'm like, I don't know how you could do that. That's a huge part of my ritual of coming onto the plaza. So yeah, but yeah, for those of you that are going to go to the game, even if you aren't obviously don't win these tickets, obviously you can be there at 6:15. You can be a part of the march. You don't have to just be 6 fire. Everyone that's going to the game, we want to represent, because as I mentioned earlier, there's a huge Canadian presence here anyways. It's still kind of the edge of snowbird season. A lot of them are transplants anyways, full time. And, some people couldn't afford some of these first round tickets. So a lot of times they sell them hoping to be able to afford second or third round tickets, whatnot. So there's no telling how many Toronto fans are going to be in the building on Friday. So we definitely have to be there to represent and make sure we shut down any of their Go Leafs Go chants or anything else like that. We got to make sure that our Cooch chants are way louder than their Soup chants. The Vasi chant has got to be off the fucking chain. So, yeah, I mean, all I know is great game. And what happened, we already talked about it. I think a big thing that happened was, they played solid. And I like that Coop put that line of Point, Sorelli, and Killer out there. And that's his starting line. I really like that. Those two guys are great on the forecheck. And then Point started skating fast tonight instead of just trying to go in there and trying to make the cute play. And Ingblom made a really good observation as well. He went from one side to the other, so as he entered the zone, the puck was on his forehand and not on his backhand, and that opened him up to a lot of opportunity. So it was great to have this bounce back win, because I was really nervous about going into game 5 being down 0-2, what this fan base was going to be like, who was going to show up, what the energy was going to be like in that building. So now that it's 1-1, and Delaney came out, put a 5 spot up, held them to 3 with one, questionable shorthanded goal. I don't know if that happens if they're not up 5-3, already 5-2. I don't think maybe Hedman makes that play the way he does. And I love that 67. I love that Joy saying we'll be chanting 67 as well, since they haven't won a cup since then. That's awesome. That's a great one. I think we should just go in and start chanting round 1. Round 1. That's their biggest opponent, is round 1. It doesn't matter who they're playing. So that's going to have to get in their heads too, especially if we come back down here and the Lightning go up 2-1. That's a big key. So, and it was interesting tonight without Ruda in the lineup. I assume basically because of his injury, maybe, giving him a day of rest. but
I like Bogo.
I liked having Bogo and Foot in.
Yeah.
So, who knows about Ruda, and the guys covered it up a lot, but Sergachev was still out there making a lot of bad plays and not really knowing what to do with the puck. I think he kind of settled down later in the game, but I think maybe he didn't have. I gotta look up the stats up. I normally have.
But
that
I thought
stuff pulled up.
McDonough looked lost in a couple times, and McDonough, I think, is
uncharacteristically, yeah,
our best
he had that.
defenseman, but that one goal was definitely on him.
Yeah. Oh, well, without a doubt. And I think partly on Vasi too. I think Vasi was a little bit hesitant playing the puck off of his stick there in the corner, and then McDonough was hesitant as well. So it was a little hesitation, really good hard forecheck, and our guys had our backs to him. And to answer your question, Anthony James, yes, I am slipping that private barrel Elijah Craig that you guys turned me on to over there in the Neat Freaks group. It's amazing. But yeah, so what was your other main takeaway from the game?
Here.
Yeah.
And actually, Joe Smith from the Athletic, he had this really cool thing today with the Athletic. He had a chat room where he was going in, taking questions, and it was really cool. It was like 15 minutes long, and it was around 5:00 today. And anybody could join it. You didn't have to subscribe to the Athletic to be able to, and they talked about Riley Nash, and really for Riley Nash to go in, they're going to have to sit Maroon or Belly, someone on that line. That's the only way we're going to be seeing Riley Nash or an injury come to one of our forwards. So I don't think Riley Nash is going to be making his playoff debut. At least I hope not. Because if he does, that means we're hurting somewhere.
Yeah. Although I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind until Hagel scored that goal that we might be seeing Riley Nash, because he also was kind of seeing, even the rest of the team was playing well, and he still seemed to be kind of not sure. And then it seemed like halfway through that game, he just really kind of found it, and he made a really good play on that 3-on-2 and went right to where he needed to be and finished the play and scored that goal. And he kind of earned it too, because after making a couple of not necessarily bad plays, just being out of position a little bit, he started finding the right position, and he was real close a couple of times. So, and that was Nick Ball out there too with Kucherov. So it's good to see those two guys that we acquired at the trade deadline. A lot of people were asking questions about. I think Paul was probably one of the best guys in game one on the Lightning, and then obviously out there still doing the same thing. Great on the forecheck, great on the PK. And that's another thing too, and didn't probably talk about enough too, is that, when they did call the penalties, except for that last one in the third, the PK was fantastic tonight. It was almost like a mirror image at a certain point tonight, when we had our guys 4 wide at the blue line, and they were just not letting them even enter the zone.
There's the special guest. We called it.
Yeah, I don't see him. There's nobody in the green room. What are you talking about? No, nobody in the green room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, instead of Shooter tonight, we give you Ty Bear. We give you Ty Bear. Welcome to We the Thunder. Welcome, special guest, mystery host, which was not so much of a mystery. But welcome anyways. Not surprising.
You
but that's
still
fine.
do. You're still 5 seconds behind. But
that's true.
Just remember.
That's just life.
Just remember, you can be removed at any time.
That's true.
All right, but I can always join back.
You know who I thought played good tonight that I really felt like deserved a goal was Palat. He's been kind of quiet, but he was all over the ice tonight. He had some great back checks. He had some good looks. He did some good passes. I really think Palat needs to get one in the net, and that will get him going. And then Colton and Sorelli, I think, are the ones that are lost right now. They don't seem to be doing so good. And now I hear the matchup that Coop wants for home ice is going to be that Sorelli line versus the Matthews line. that is who he's going to be matching up with them. And I think we're going to see I like that matchup. I think we're going to see a lot more containment of Marner and Matthews if we get that Sorelli line on them.
Yeah, like I said, I think with the way those two guys that I call them the 1771 pair, I like that kind of that lineup. So, but yeah, what did you think, Ty?
Tell you the truth, I thought much better game. Just everything in general was just way more on point. Really props at the beginning to Nick Paul. Nick Paul had some amazing stuff going on in front. The whole team together pulled in all together, but I think that we just started off a lot stronger than we did last game. And I really appreciate the fact that we did changes to make that happen. And you could see that, especially at the blue line, where we were being shut down the last game. Last game, we were being shut down on the blue line. This time, not so much. We were spreading out to the right and the left, and we called that bluff.
Yeah, I think like we were kind of talking about before you came on that it was very flip flopped between last game where they were really clogging up the blue line entry. We seem to be doing that to them a lot more tonight, and they were able to adjust in the way they entered the zone, not just on the power play but in general, and a lot more physicality when it mattered. Not just hitting for hitting's sake, but being physical in the corners whenever it led to puck possession, turnovers, things like that. And again, if you're just tuning in, if you're just catching us, it is hashtag We the Thunder to win a pair of tickets to Game 3 this Friday night. You got to be down at Yeoman's for the 6 o'clock meetup with Sticks of Fire. So we'll be giving those away here in a little while.
We also giving away a Smack Apparel shirt,
our regular stuff,
a pizza from Pucks and Pizza, and a speaker from Malektronics. Thank you to all three of those for giving us swag to give away during the show.
Props to all you guys. That's awesome. Thank you for supporting us.
Like we already have, we got a great relationship with all these people during the regular season, but just like us, they really like to turn up the dial when we get to the postseason. And they really just kind of shower you guys with gifts through us. So it's kind of nice being the elves and we're kind of Santa Claus, if you will. It's kind of nice that we get to give them away. But that's one of the best things we love about this show is we're fans. It's for the fans. So anything that we've done to, bring a little benefits, we like to pass that along, pay it forward. So, those three things we mentioned will be given away by stars of the chat. So come hard with your comments, make them witty, make them funny, make them insightful. We'll each pick a star at the end, and we'll give away something to 3 lucky people. Dial tonight, Orozco says 7.5. I was saying about an 8, honestly. I was saying they were back at about an 8. Maybe at a 9 for a certain amount of time, maybe down to like a 6 here and there, but like overall, I'd say they were at an 8 for this game tonight. So, the dial is back up. It was at a 0, so it's good to see it back up to an 8.
I also want to let people know the Bolts flight is arriving tomorrow at 1:29 p.m. at Shelter, Tampa. So if you are not working and you're able to,
you're not working.
I'm on vacation this week, so guess who will be there? So if you're able to join us tomorrow to cheer the team back home, they are landing at 1:29. I'd be there by 1:15ish because sometimes they're a little early. I will be there around 1. Come down and join us. I know some of the news crews are going to be down there. So come, bring your flags, bring your jerseys, and cheer on the team back.
Yeah, that's always a great part of it, especially right now. Like I said, it's going to be important that we have a huge presence for those guys. We kind of had, for us, we had a regular postseason last year, but it's still coming off of a really strange regular season. And while we were there, it was kind of special no matter what, just to have fans in the building. And not a lot of people could travel either. back then still. So it's really important that we show up and that we represent that team well, and they get the support that they deserve from this fan base, because they definitely turned it back up tonight, and they showed what veterans they are. Not just the guys that have been there in the league for a long time, but the guys that have been just in the last couple of years part of this playoff run. Even the Colts.
Perry, Belmar, those guys deserve this.
Well, for sure. I mean, they turned it up too, but I mean, you saw just that seeped through the lineup. I think there wasn't anybody that you could say had a terrible game. I still think is probably not great, but Foot had a really solid game tonight. So
he had a good solid game the first game too.
No, he was one of the first guys, one of the only guys that had a good game in game one as well. So, but yeah,
I'm sorry you had to get banned there, Matthew.
No more love for Matthew. He's my biggest fan. Stick around.
Bum, bum, bum.
Uh-oh. All right, we're ready. Redfish is ready. I love it. Yeah. The only problem is they won't fight you. Okay. They'll talk a lot of shit, and they'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, just kidding.
Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So sorry.
The funny part is when they ended the last game.
Your face hit my face. Oh, so sorry.
When they ended the last game, Simmons flat out told Maroon he was next, and I didn't see him coming for Maroon at all tonight. He definitely wanted.
No, he still got 2 penalties though.
Yeah, he was going after others, but he wasn't going after Maroon because
not Maroon.
He knew Maroon would fight him back. So
yeah, and Dan did. I kind of mentioned that last second goal in the end of the first period from Hedman to give him 1-goal lead and a lot of momentum, which I think was really clutch. But yeah, what a great set of hands, what a great set of patience, display of patience from Hedman on that first goal, who had 4-point night tonight. Just came out and was, I think, the difference maker early and through a lot of that second period. He definitely came out and took over the game. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly his. He did not care at all, Sarah Maroon.
I
did not care at all about
care
his
either.
Yeah.
If I did the same thing, I wouldn't care. That's I mean, think about it. That's $2,500. It's worth it.
Oh man, this is good.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh.
Just to let you guys know, these two had no clue that I was the guest host.
Oh no,
That's not true. We totally guessed it.
Yeah.
Oh, you might have guessed it, but they had no clue.
Oh,
how do we mean we didn't have a clue if we guessed it? We were not.
You're not.
We were not told specifically. No, but did we figure it out? Yes.
But just to let you know, you were told you were the second choice. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know if I was the second choice. I was told this like 5 days ago.
All I know is that he told us that his first choice fell through. So
yeah.
Rob, just remember this. I'm coming for you. Second choice?
Yeah.
No. His first choice is actually pretty good.
You'd be like my fourth, but
yeah, I was gonna say
no.
I'm not even top 10.
Just wait. I'm showing up at your house one night, and then what?
Yes, I know. I did stupidly tell you that while we were drunk celebrating Rob's shooter's 40th birthday on Saturday. Yes, I did. I did stupidly give you the open invitation to come to my house.
All right, back to the game.
Yeah, so
let's wrap back to the game.
Man.
Any negative? What negatives do you take from this game?
Too many penalties.
Yeah, I think that's the refs. I think the refs have set a tone.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see penalties in the playoffs. Period.
I mean, the stupid too many men.
The too many men was ridiculous.
That was Hagel. That was all on Hagel.
Yep.
No, was it on Hagel or was it just on the communication on the bench?
That's on Hagel.
Nobody came off. They were all down at the goal.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. It was the entire line plus him. I would say that the one odd man out is the guy that was probably the one that was.
He definitely needs to take the gloves off and count how many were out there because that was not even
Yeah.
close, but it was a good defensive move because they were down there at the goal. But
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with a lot of people. What a lot of you folks are saying in the chat of that last 6 or 7 minutes is probably the only negative. They had a chance to really make a statement here, keep the skate on the neck, as I like to say, and really finish them off. And it kind of backfired on that one power play, and they ended up with that shorthanded goal. But overall, they played really well in that last minute and a half or 2 minutes when they did get that power play and they pulled the goalie. Very clinical, typical Tampa Bay hockey whenever there's an empty net. And I like to see they knew they had a 2-goal lead, so they weren't trying to like shoot it and ice it or do anything fancy. They were just making the right play and getting the puck out. But yeah, if there's any negative, I kind of agree with a lot of people. It's Sergey, and it's that last 6 or 7 minutes.
now, did you guys watch the Bally broadcast or the ESPN?
Oh, I watch Bally because if we make it through, then there's plenty of time to watch the ESPN and.
I'm tired of the ESPN just talking about Toronto the whole time. So
no, I actually watched the ESPN2 broadcast and I was actually pretty impressed with their coverage.
Is it Buchagrass?
It was.
Yeah.
I forget the female.
And Kaylee Archelios.
Kaylee was there too, and it was funny because when Chernak got hit in the nuts. By the way, CJ Joe is actually banned. She's able to watch us, but she's banned from commenting on Facebook because in Thunderbolts she posted someone needs to hit Simmons in the nuts, and Great old Meta has now banned her.
She got suspended.
Yep, she's appealing it, but she's able to see us. She's messaging me saying she's able to see us, but she cannot comment or anything. But it was funny because Gucci actually thought he got slashed in the hand, and then when they showed the replay and he saw he got hit in the nuts, he goes, "Oh, he got hit," and then she was like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." They just started laughing. So it was actually a pretty fun time, but something I see people saying Sergey, and and we've talked about Kuch and we've talked about Vasi, and some people have said it's the Russian thing with things that are going on with their home country. But actually, Coop did an interview with Booch, and he said that they feel embarrassed. Kucherov gets embarrassed when he whiffs on a shot when he doesn't do it, and they get in their own heads. And Sergachev's the same way, and Vasi. It is a Russian thing. It's the same with Ovi. Ovi gets in his own head. You see it from all the Russians, and it's just because of the way that they play hockey over there.
Sorry. I love
yes,
it.
He did.
Bucci went with the old, got him in the old How's Your Father.
Yes.
I love it.
And she started dying laughing.
That's why I love Bucci.
She said, "I know nothing about that." Yeah. so it was pretty good. I wanted to listen to their broadcast tonight and just to see, because they are going to be going to, as the finals get, it's going to go to ABC. And so, and they
I figured that too.
It's going to be between ABC and Turner, and the alternating for the next 7 years as part of the agreement.
I saw some TBSs in there.
Yeah, because they're owned by Turner.
That's Turner.
Yeah.
USA and TBS and TNT.
Yep. So they're going to be switching in between.
Oh, USA is actually Embassy.
No, not anymore. I don't think so. Well, maybe.
maybe
no, you're right. You're right. It was TBS. Sorry, TBS, not USA. TBS, TNT.
TBS. Yes.
Yeah, TBS. Anyways. Yeah, I was thinking at USA Universal. But anyways, yeah. So okay, that's cool though. I mean, like I said, I like listening to our guys because if we get out of this first round, then we do have to listen to the national guys no matter what. And as much as everyone says Ingblom is a homer, I think no, it's the first round. It's just what used to be the regionals, it's the divisionals, whatever it is. But
it's only first round.
It's only the first round. But anyways, that's and as much as people think that Ingblom kind of sucks or whatever else, I like him, and he has a lot of good insight, and Randorf is getting to be a lot more exciting on his gold calls.
What I like about Ingblom is actually the fact that he is actually two-way. everything he says is two-way. You need that in a broadcast. And Randorf is one way, obviously, and he's made to be that as he's a play caller. But no, compared to like obviously the Chief, he is actually more of a two-way caller, which I mean sucks for us, but in the sense it does make it more ability to see both sides, and he doesn't sugarcoat it.
Well, because Egblom is also a national broadcaster, he will be used still after this first round, where Randolph will not be. Egblom will be used by ESPN and Turner.
If he doesn't do a game, he'll at least be doing in like studio stuff or pregame, intermission stuff. He'll be on national broadcasts. So, and the other thing, I think I talked about this recently. Sometimes like we do these shows and they're kind of just like I move right on, but people forget who he played with and where he won cups at. Like he was part of a dynasty in Montreal. He played with the Rocket. Like he knows his shit. He knows hockey. He played with some of the greats, played against some of the greats. So, and he's watched this game evolve from what it was then to what it is now. And he's been in the booth for a lot of it. So yeah, I appreciate having him in our market, and it's really good. And like I said, it seems like a lot of people are coming around again on Randorf because he was again coming from national and not just hockey. He did a lot of different stuff. So now he's settled in just on hockey and in one market. I think he's really being more confident and just kind of being relaxed in his call and not having to be so corporate, if you will. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know what it feels. I don't know. I was telling Schoolie before we came on. Like I was really pumped and I was feeling great. And the last 6 or 7 minutes of the game went by, and then like I was kind of dealing with some technical difficulties with my audio equipment, and I just like suddenly like started the show. I'm like, man, I feel like we lost this game. I don't know why. It's that last 6 or 7 minutes. I was like, man, I really just wanted them to make that statement full 60 minutes. And I guess that's probably my number one negative. If there is a negative I would take away, I'd say, man, I still want to see a full 60 minutes of this team going out, but it's only game 2.
Well, the fact that you said that the last 6 minutes was the negative, that's awesome going forward, because that means that literally the other 54 minutes were positive.
Yeah, right. Well, for the most part, for sure. And again, I think we out physical them when it mattered. And the other thing is our power play was it was non-existent in game 1, and it was on fire tonight.
We
made them pay for all of those penalties, and they were stupid. They were legitimate penalties, but they were stupid penalties. They were legitimate penalties that they committed, and they were all dumb. And they paid for them. They paid for them big time, and that's what that Lightning team has to do. And it's good to see that they're kind of adjusting on the fly now. To them taking away Stamkos, because they absolutely are taking away that cross ice pass. I know I started cross ice pie. That cross ice pass to Stamkos. Yeah,
you bake that and make it. But you bake it and send it over.
Yeah, I'll do it. I don't know. Yeah, what? Anyways, but yeah, they've really keyed on shutting that down. So It's good to see they've adjusted, and it was great to see Point get that goal too, right there in front. They talked a lot about that too, is how that's people don't consider how many goals he scores from that area. He scores a ton of goals from right there in front of the net. So, and that's another thing too, is you're seeing not just Cooch, but also Orozco said, Cooch is making a difference with him shooting, and that for that pass into Point, but also Hedman is doing a lot more at the point, shooting the puck, not just trying to go right to Stamkos or right back. Like he's making even looking made a couple of passes to the inside as well himself. So,
him running into that front net at that goal, amazing.
So a stat that came into the thing: Palat was skating in his 117 career playoff game, all with the Lightning. he surpassed Tyler Johnson for the second most in Tampa Bay Lightning history, only behind Victor Hedman, who has 134 games played. And then Alex Killorn, with his assist tonight, that was the 69th career playoff point, which gives him sole possession of 6 most points in all-time Bolts history. And then Coop's statement after the game tonight: Cooper are not losing back-to-back games and 3 playoff runs. It takes character. You have to tip your hat to the guys to lose a playoff game and the next night going and saying, we're not losing this one. You have a really good chance of winning the Stanley Cup if you can do that.
Yeah, you have a really good chance if you don't win back-to-back or lose back-to-back.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm racking my brain. Isn't it basically impossible statistically if you don't lose back? Like you have to lose back-to-back games.
You would win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Well,
no, because it depends on who wins first. It depends on who wins first.
7. Yeah, you can lose 4.
Yeah, if you lose the first
Cooper
game.
says contributions from the Bolts top players we needed tonight, and they stepped up. And it started with our goaltender, and Vasi was outstanding.
Yes, he was. Vasi was back tonight. That's for sure. He came out to make a statement without a doubt, you know. And that's what we needed to see from all these guys. It's just that resiliency. And a lot of people were worried about it. A lot of people were getting negative. A lot of people were like, oh, if we play like this, we're going to get swept. Well, yeah, if they play like that, they will get swept. But guess what? They didn't. They did what they can do, and they come back and they win that game, and they win it convincingly. You know, I mean, you hate to see those 2 late goals there, but at the same time, I still think that it's a little bit of momentum for them, but much more momentum coming back to Tampa for the Lightning. That's what we needed.
I think Vasi played outstanding, but I don't think Vasi thinks he played outstanding. I think game 3, you're going to see a number 9 on the dial with Vasi. Yeah. Because I think he stood on his head I think he stood tall tonight. I think he stands on his head on Friday.
Literally without one glove save too.
Yes.
Tall without that amazing glove save. Well, he was kind of not really standing tall. He was almost on his heels and like almost starting to fall over. And as he fell over, he made a great move.
Then right after is when Perry got the 5-hole, which we talked about. Hedman's patience. I thought that was good patience on Perry too. Deacon a couple times, had the breakaway coming off the bench and go right 5-hole. And at first I didn't even realize it was 5-hole because he shot it so hard and it went up. I was like, oh, that was over the glove. And then when I saw the replay, I was like, oh, he went through the 5-hole. So he had some good patience on that one also. Yeah,
for sure. And it's good to see him because I mean that's like MVP Corey Perry making that kind of a play, you know. Mm-hmm. And again, Hedman, I mean, Hedman being Hedman on that stretch pass and catching him on the change, you know, that's another great play we saw. And that to me is vintage game, vintage Hedman. That's vintage playoff Hedman right there. So
I'm hearing it's the paddles. That's what I've heard. That's what the early consensus on the giveaway is it's the paddles.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah. So sorry, sometimes I get caught up reading the comments because everyone's coming in hard in the chat tonight. So I love it. And this is absolutely what I feel about Corey Perry. Like that guy. Well, I don't know coming into the season if he was really worth it. Absolutely outplayed that $900,000 contract that he has. So and I would say that whole bottom line, I mean that whole bottom line is what, like 2.7 mil total or some shit like that. It's amazing.
And I can see him, Ty.
We can't hear you, Ty.
Yeah, and you're not on mute, so it's something with your mic. And
can you hear me now?
No,
yes,
unfortunately.
We could
just kept saying no. We could.
All right. No, so one thing I do have to say about Perry, coming into this, I know him. I've seen him. I've watched him through the years. And obviously I know him. I was really worried about how much of a dick he was going to be. And throughout this season, I have seen a different Perry than I've ever seen throughout this. And even in these playoffs, he's not that guy. He's skilled. He's
I think Toronto would disagree with you. I'm just gonna say that. I think
oh,
everyone on that
they
Toronto
might
bench
they
would
might,
disagree with
but
you.
he knows when to do it. He knows how to do it to get under their skin, but not get the bullshit calls. But he's jumping up and making the plays as well. And that's the thing is I wasn't expecting that from Perry. I was expecting more of the dickhole plays throughout the season. Now he's been skilled, he's been reserved, and I actually commend him on his play with us. And I'm proud to have him as a Bolt going into the playoffs because he has so much playoff experience. He's a great veteran for us to go into this with.
But that goal he scored tonight, that was goals we've seen scored against us the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So it was
Exactly.
for us. Because he's been a pest the last 2 years in the finals.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Someone was asking. Yeah, like I don't know what you're missing, Ty, but like this is exactly the Corey Perry of old, right here, where he was standing there and he had two guys on each hand, and he was giving both of them the business and laughing while talking to the referee, and he got a double roughing minor. Like he got 2-2-minute. I'm like, everyone's like, how did that happen? Like, because he was roughing two guys at once. That's what Perry does. He's always done that. The difference is he's wearing blue and white or white and blue, depending on which it's on the road or at home. But he's wearing our colors. He's wearing the lightning bolt on his chest now. That's the main difference. He's not playing that much of a different game, other than the fact that I do feel he feels inspired with the other guys on his line to be the playmaker, with those knowing what those other two guys are.
I correct you on that. I correct you on that. I said in the regular season.
Oh, okay, well, fine.
In the playoffs, no. In the playoffs, he's coming out to be his.
Yeah,
regular season, he was actually skilled, reserved. Now
he had 20 goals, 19 goals. So yeah, but you know, I mean, he definitely produced way more than we expected out of him. Just about everybody, and we expected a veteran presence, but what he really brought was a lot of offense. So.
And Bucci even made a comment about how he is a leader in the locker room, and how Coop has said he's like an extra coach, and that he wouldn't be surprised to see him in a coaching capacity after when he decides to hang up the skates.
Yeah, it's he'll probably be coaching kids and stuff like that. I don't know.
I see him actually going to Anaheim. I see him to do some kind of back end or front end in Anaheim.
Well, he's really into being around his kids, so we'll see how much longer he plays, and B, you know, a lot of these guys, whenever they retire, they like to get into extra things in coaching, but most of the time these guys are retiring to spend time with their kids and really just kind of be family men and be part of it all. So we'll see. Like, he could be a Halpy. Definitely, I could see him kind of being like a Jeff Halpern or something like that. But, you know, I just like what he does now. I mean, he's one of the main guys to speak up in between games 1 and 2. So, and the funny thing is, too, you think about it, Stamkos isn't much younger than him, honestly. Like, and people talk about, like, they're being twins. I mean, they're a few years, but it's not like they're not that much younger. He's not that much younger. So, like it's almost like having another Stamkos in there. You know what I mean? Like the leadership that Stamkos has and the experience that he has and how long he's been with this franchise, and you bring in the Corey Perry, and it's a very like,
you know,
like
Corey Perry's like 10 years younger.
No,
he's not 10.
I mean, 10 years older.
No, he's not.
4. He's 4 years.
4 years, dude. They're only 4 years apart, dude. That's not that big of an age.
Stammer's 32.
Yeah. 32 and 36. They're not like a huge age gap, dude. And especially when you consider how long they've been playing. So 33. See, Stamkos is 33 now. So I mean, they're not that much of a difference in age, dude. They've both been in this league for a long freaking time. So it's like having a second captain in there, and then you bring in a guy like Maroon, and you've already got a McDonough in there who was a captain in New York for a long time. Those are the things that I think we don't necessarily always remember or rely on enough as fans when we think about that locker room. Stamkos is the one who wears the C, but there's like 6 captains, really. The 6 guys that probably could wear the C at any given time in that locker room. I mean, even I think in the right team, Alex Killorn would be a captain. Victor Hedman would absolutely be a captain on a lot of teams. So, it's that's the thing that we have to remember. It's after a loss like game 1, these guys are going to rely on that locker room. They're going to rely on each other, and they're going to rely on that veteran voice that is the right guy to speak up at the right time. And that's the other great thing, too. It's not going to be every guy every time. It's going to be the guy that knows the right thing to say at the right time. And then everyone's going to defer, and they're going to listen to him. And you're going to see guys like tonight, games like tonight, And I think that that's a good point, too. Anthony James talked about he instilled that leadership after the Columbus series. And that's the other thing I was telling myself tonight. This isn't the team from 19. This isn't the team that came out and got swept. This is a completely different team. They're a completely different mentality. They're a completely different makeup. So, of their identity. So, to me, this is the game I was hoping for, and really the game I was expecting to see from the Lightning tonight. So, well, I mean, I don't know how much more we can beat this horse tonight. I'm really trying to save my energy, and I know this is probably like a little bit down energy show. It's not just, again, Shooter not being here. These midweek shows are always a struggle. And like I said, I got a long weekend of being out there with all you guys, all the fans. I'll be in downtown all weekend. Don't forget about that. We'll be out at District Tavern. If you guys are in, we have a few more minutes. Hashtag We the Thunder. You have to be at Yeoman's at 6:00 to get your tickets to march down to the arena and do all that jazz. And I think we're about ready to do a drawing here and pick out some stars of the chat for some giveaways. And we'll try and spread them out. I know a lot of our fans are regulars, and they all come hard with their comments, and probably in other ways too. But that's none of my business. But we'll try and spread it out to a few different winners, because we will be going after every game as we do live.
Vasi became the 22nd goalie in NHL history and the fifth active goalie to get his 50th career playoff win tonight.
Yeah. That's crazy. There's still 5 though in the league.
Yeah.
50 wins. Like you said,
I was trying to think of who else
young goalies.
It got to be Jonathan Quick.
Yeah.
Maybe Mike Smith. Maybe Smitty.
Yeah,
probably Smith. I don't know. I don't pay attention enough right now.
Bobrovsky, maybe Bobrovsky.
Yeah, is he playing?
Yeah, he started last night for Florida.
Yeah. Probably Bob's. I would definitely say Bob's.
Boobtisky.
Yeah.
Maybe Flower.
Oh, definitely Flower. Definitely Flower.
Yeah.
Then, maybe Talbot. Maybe Talbot's the other one.
I mean, this year's Shestikin.
Sheskirkin? No.
Sheskirkin, however you say it.
Hersmerkins?
Price
Price.
I don't know if there'd be an active goalie. I don't know if he'd be listed as an active goalie, but he was at the end of the season.
He was at the end of the season. So,
but he's not playing.
Yeah, him, Flower.
Oh, he did play, yeah.
No, he played 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Terribly. But so
actually Ratton from Rata. Ranta.
Yeah. So
I mean,
all right, let's pick some winners.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think everyone was coming so hard. I was trying to star stuff and then also pay attention to you guys.
Phil's trying to do too much.
No, honestly, dude, I don't know. Like I was so pumped. You know what it is? I honestly know what it is. I think I was so nervous for game 2. Like I was like
You didn't
physically
enjoy
getting
it.
anxiety, that it was just more of a relief than like I'm excited. You know what I mean? I think that's really what it is. It was just like
I
a
think
full
those.
adrenaline dump as
I
soon
think
as it
maybe
was
those top
over.
3 that we starred could be the 3 winners.
Yeah,
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 I agree.
that works for me.
So
Do it.
let's do the t-shirt. Clint Kelly.
Yeah,
Don't worry about those last 10 minutes. The boys were just hungry because they didn't have any soup for a couple of minutes.
All right.
they were definitely
go.
feasting on some Campbell's tonight. That chunky.
The free pizza to Joyce. We'll be chanting 67 as well, since the Leafs haven't won the cup since then.
Sick bird.
Woo!
Sick bird.
Woo!
And then the speaker from Malektronics to Scott Dolan. I want to three-peat more than anybody else, but I want to keep this post-game show going all postseason. I look forward to it.
Oh man, I love it, Scott. Always coming
Way
through
to
with
go, you
great
guys.
love and great support. We appreciate
So-
everybody watching the show, coming in and supporting us and contributing, because that's
You
what it's all
guys
about. You know?
Send us an email. You can send me directly an email or the stash. It's easier to find me. You can send me an email with your so I can get your email address. Send me a Insta message so I can get your email address and we can get that stuff out to you.
Yeah, or I mean, I know Clint and Matthew, and actually all 3 of you have me personally too.
Joyce. But
yeah,
does Scott?
Yeah, I know Scott. Scott's my old friend.
Okay, good. Then all 3 of them.
My old friend, old chum of mine.
Now let's give those
Used to
tickets
be my
away.
boss. Actually,
Ooh.
not technically, he was. Yeah, he's my boss at Brass
Forget
Tap
that.
for a while. So, all right. I guess it's time to stop dicking around. I know the only reason most of you guys are still here after a win this late on a Wednesday is because you want some tickets
it's 'cause I
to
wanna hear
Game
you.
3. That's right. You want these tickets. I think we're about ready. Let me go ahead and share this for you guys so you can see it.
I love the background music.
All right. And all right, we have 18 entries total. So man, that's pretty good odds. Someone is going to be super happy, and we are ready to roll the dice. Let's do it. Pat Maroon banged her mom. All right. All right. That guy wants a lot of stuff. All right. I know you know how to get a hold of us because you're a longtime viewer / listener / supporter of the show. This is not your first time getting hooked up by Shooter in the Stash of We the Thunder. And once again, special shout out to Sticks of Fire, Joyce and Debbie. Debbie is really the one kind of running the show these days, not to piss anybody else off. But that's kind of the way it's going, and they're the ones that hooked us up with this situation. So shout out to Sticks of Fire. Shout out to all you guys for sticking it out, being with us for the show. And
Pat Marin,
I want to say thank you for letting me be on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have words with Shooter about his choice of guest host from now on. But thanks, Ty. We love you, man. You know we go way back, way further back than anybody else. You and I, and you know, hockey is what we do. So you're not wrong, Adrian. That guy, he does fucking win everything. But that's the first time he's won in the playoffs. So there you go. And let's not forget Friday. We will be at the game. If you're at the game, come find us. If you don't find us before the meetup at Yeoman's, normally we go out to the Budweiser. Sorry, they change the name so often. We go out to the Budweiser party deck. In intermission, we usually go there. Kevin Callan, dude, that's the thing. You keep winning too. You have great comments, so you're gonna have to save some of those for later in the next round, so you can be eligible again.
Kevin won that Malektronics, the big astronaut last year, and he sent me a picture of it sitting there watching the games with it.
That's amazing.
So we actually, I think next round we will have some more of those to give away. The owner of Malektronics messaged me and said he has some of those hanging around.
Yeah, another thing, if you're still hanging around here, we did a thing a little while ago with the meme, the screenshot of me when I was on the Bally pregame show, the Puck Drop with Kayla Mizell on Bally Digital, and I had a little bit of fun with that. There's another one going around. The shooter, I kind of said to shooter, it came up in my memories. It was from 2014, which is the last time that I went completely babyface shaven, no mustache, no nothing for the NHL playoffs, and it didn't end up all that great. So I decided I'd never do it again. And I'm surprised nobody even mentioned it. Maybe it's because I'm behind the microphone, but I did totally trim everything up. I've got basically no beard anymore. I'm just back to the stash. The stash is back. And I definitely believe that had a lot to do with the mojo the guys had tonight, but I didn't want to take any personal glory because those guys played their asses off. But yeah, I totally got on a tangent. But yeah, don't forget about what we got going on this weekend. Oh yeah, that's what I say. That picture. Hey, hold on. Let me finish my thought. But that picture is out there. Shooter has shared it. He's posted it of me completely baby faced, and we're gonna do a thing sometime during this first round, maybe like towards the end or at the end of it, where I'm gonna pick out the best draw stashes playoff beard, and I want you guys to do that. Share it on our Facebook page. Send it to us in Messenger, however you want to. And I'll pick out, and someone will get a special prize, maybe a personalized T-shirt or something like that. We'll do just for the best draw stashes playoff beard. So, that being said, great win, good job, great bounce back. I can't wait till Friday. We'll be there. We'll be at District Tavern for the show live afterwards. Saturday is at downtown. Bar crawl starting at 4:00 at Park and Rec. We'll be at District Tavern starting at 4:30. After we do our show there, we'll be out there with everybody else, man. So and we'll probably be down there for Sunday night or for the Sunday game as well. We'll keep you posted. Until then, this has been
wait. I have a message from Shooter.
Okay.
All right. Shooter has said the champs are back. Whatever is said about Victor Hedman Monday was not true tonight. Back to Conn Smythe for Victor or Hedman form. Our coaches are better than theirs. Keith said this was going to, quote, borderline violent series, end quote. His guys are instigating every.
Oh, dude, we lost you. We lost your mic again.
Who gave him a reading
Lost your mic
assignment?
again.
Can you hear me now?
All right. Well, hey, we'll let Shooter tell all that shit on Friday himself. All right. The show's over. We've done it. We're over an hour. Nobody's even here any fucking more. So until next time, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.